Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new week. Hope you are all doing well on this Monday morning. I have to apologise in advance if you can hear any outside noise. We've got a massive rimu tree in our backyard, and today is the day that it's coming down, unfortunately. It's just become very unruly and very, very big. So the time has come to get rid of it. So there's a lot of cutting, and there's an arborist up the tree at the moment. So there's cutting and then there's thumping as the branches hit the ground. So that's what the noise is. Hope you all had a nice weekend. Here we are on another brand new week full of promise. Today's topic is, if you don't like your weight loss results, you must change your thoughts. And the reason I'm talking about this today is that this subject is coming up a lot within our 12-month mentorship. So we run a 12-month mentorship program. We call it the World of Holistic Wellness. And this is a subject that we keep talking about, is all around thoughts and mindset. And it's really undervalued, underestimated about how important your thoughts are when it comes to weight loss. So it sounds really obvious, but every result that we achieve in our life is the result of our thought processes. And it's really quite amazing to me that a lot of people are kind of living in a state of chaos in their lives where they're sort of reacting to the world around them, and they don't seem to realize that a lot of what's going on for them is a result of their thought processes. And this applies to everything in life, but because our specialty is health and well-being, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I want to explain how we can arrive at a certain result with our health. And we're going to use weight loss as an example because this is really relevant for a lot of people. A lot of people are struggling to lose weight, and even if they can lose weight, they're struggling to maintain that weight loss. So firstly, I want to make the distinction between talking about weight gain and weight loss. So in many cases, weight gain can be the result of thought processes, especially if that person has a history of yo-yo dieting, binging, overeating. Those things are all a result of the initial thought processes that are going on in that person's mind. But to be fair, a lot of people struggle with their weight through no fault of their own. And a lot of this is to do with overwhelm, confusion. There's a lot of contradicting information out there. People are, they're confused. They don't know what they should be doing. And then you've got things like, new trends like keto. You've got doctors telling people not to eat fruit and to avoid carbs, which is all ludicrous and completely false. Terrible information. So people are confused. We're not talking about blame here, about people being overweight. This is not about blame, but it's about explaining why people sometimes get stuck in a pattern of struggling with their weight and feeling like they're unable to lose it. So let's use this as an example where, let's say hypothetically, you are someone who is carrying a few extra kilos and you're struggling to lose weight. And you say to yourself, I can't lose weight. Now, I can't lose weight is a thought. It's not a fact. Human beings can lose weight. And sometimes it's not straightforward. There are various reasons why people struggle. There are hormonal reasons, there are adrenal reasons, there are gut reasons, there are sleep reasons. These things all play into whether or not you can lose weight easily. It's not just about calories in and calories out. That is way outdated. We know a lot more these days about weight loss and know that it's a lot more complex than that. So let's go back to that thought, I can't lose weight. Now that thought will lead to a feeling, okay? Now, if you're thinking, I can't lose weight, think about the feeling that you're going to have when you think that thought, okay? So you're probably going to feel things like hopelessness. Maybe you're going to feel like a failure. Maybe you're going to feel sad or frustrated, okay? So that's the natural sequence from that thought. I can't lose weight leads to those feelings of hopelessness and frustration. Now, from that feeling, that is going to lead to an action. That is the next natural part of the sequence. So that action is going to be something that follows on from those feelings, okay? So if you've got a feeling of I can't lose weight and you feel frustrated and sad and hopeless, then that is going to lead you to certain actions, okay? And those actions are going to be things like you're going to end up overeating because you're consoling yourself, or you want some comfort. Maybe you neglect to do some exercise that day because you feel hopeless and like nothing's going to work anyway. Maybe you end up isolating yourself from people because you're embarrassed, or you don't feel good about yourself and you don't want to be seen in public. So you don't want to go and socialize with people. Okay, so that is the action that stems from that thought. Then from that action, the next part of the sequence is your results, okay? So your results are that you are going to, if you're, overeating and not exercising and not being around people, is that you are probably going to put on weight because you haven't exercised and you've eaten too much. And maybe you're going to miss out on some fun events with your friends or family because you don't feel like participating. So the key message here today is that everything that happens is part of a sequence, and it all starts from your thoughts, okay? So you have a thought, which leads to a feeling, which leads to an action, which leads to a result. Now, when you have a thought, your brain is going to search for evidence that that thought is true. That's just how the brain works. So, when you say something like, I can't, your brain is going to find evidence wherever you go that you can't. Okay, this is why thoughts are so important. And I think that people are getting stuck in these thoughts that really aren't working for them. And then they wonder why they're not getting the results that they want. Okay, so when you have a thought, your brain will naturally follow that sequence. It's just the way the brain works, okay? A thought leads to a feeling, it leads to an action, that leads to a result. I'm going to keep repeating this because it's really important. So the key thing here is that if you don't like the results you are getting, you must change your thoughts. And this, as I said, this applies to everything in your life. It could be your finances, it could be your relationships, it could be your job. But we're specifically talking about health today because that's obviously our field of expertise. So let's go back to the I can't lose weight example, okay? And let's change that thought to losing weight is possible for me, okay? All we've done is change the thought, but what happens? That thought is going to lead to a feeling. And what's that feeling going to be when you say to yourself, losing weight is possible for me? You're going to feel hopeful, you're going to feel optimistic, and you're going to feel excited because this is a possibility for you. So we know now that when we have a feeling, that leads to an action. So those positive, optimistic, excited feelings are going to lead to certain actions. And they may be things like, well, I'm going to go out for a walk today because I'm feeling positive and motivated. I'm going to take the time today to prepare healthy food. I'm not going to succumb to the snacks in my pantry or the fridge. Can you see how that thought has led to a different feeling and a different action? And then from those actions, you're going to get different results. You're going to start losing weight if you follow through on those, those actions that I just talked about, avoiding the junk food, going out for a walk. So the message I'm trying to get through today is that your whole day and your whole life can actually change if you start paying attention to your thoughts. And it sounds so obvious and it sounds way too basic to have any kind of influence. But really, when you think about it, everything that we do starts with a thought. Okay, so that sequence is really, really fundamental to the results that we have ended up with in our lives, no matter what we're talking about here, whether it's health or money or, whatever, those things I mentioned before. Now, we've got a client in our 12-month mentorship. So we as I said, we run a 12-month mentorship. It's called the World of Holistic Wellness. And she was having some real issues around feeling stuck with her weight loss. So we've got a group of about 60 people in that mentorship now. And she was looking around thinking, well, all these other people are able to lose weight and I'm just not. Like, what's going on? And she ended up reaching out to me for some one-to-one coaching because she knew that she was stuck and she wanted to get on, on top of this issue and figure out what was going on. And so I explained to her that her feeling of being stuck was just a thought and that she had the power to change those thoughts. And so we did some work around, overcoming those blocks and figuring out why she was wanting to, lose the weight in the first place. And once she realized what was happening with that sequence of events, she was able to go back and really think about what thoughts she was telling herself. So she was like a broken record in her own head, saying things like, I don't know why I'm stuck. I just can't seem to lose this weight. And you can see from what we've just talked about today that thought will lead to a specific feeling of being hopeless. Well, why should I even try? Because it's not going to work. And then that will lead to an action of, oh, well, it's not going to work anyway, so I might as well have the chocolate muffin or the potato chips. And then that leads to a result, which of course is not being able to lose weight. And it just becomes a vicious cycle. So when she was able to go back and change her thoughts, she ended up losing several kilos over the next couple of months. So she had a massive breakthrough. So what I want you to think about today is that if you are in a position in your life where you're not happy with the results you're getting, and it can be with anything, okay, but I'm talking mainly about health and well-being today because that's what we specialize in Jennings Holistic Health Coaching. If you're not happy with your results, then you need to look at what you're telling yourself and what thoughts you are having in your head, okay? If you're getting great results and you're really happy with where you're at with your health, that's a sign that your thoughts are working for you. You're having good thoughts that are working in your favor and they are helping you achieve those good results. If you are not happy with your results, if you are not happy with where you are, it's fundamental that you go back to that thought process and change your thoughts. Because remember, anything that you tell yourself is usually just a thought. Often there's no factual basis behind it. It's just a thought. And the good news is we all have the power to control and choose our own thoughts. And this isn't like a one-time practice. It's not like you go, oh, well, yes, I can lose weight, and then it all just happens. It's a daily practice. And your brain, our human brains, have a very special way of trying to protect us, okay? So often when we think big or we want to step outside our comfort zone and we sort of dream about all the things that are possible for us, our brain wants to protect us. And so it comes up with things like, no, you can't do that. It's not a good idea. This is why it's not going to work. That's your brain wanting to protect you and keep you safe. And it's really important that you become aware of that so that you can override it and go, actually, that's just my brain kind of doing its thing. Trying to keep me safe, trying to protect me, but I know that actually I need to change the way I'm thinking about things. So this is all the kind of stuff that we cover in our coaching when we coach people one-on-one. And as I said, this is a big part of our 12-month mentorship. In fact, something that we do every month on our 12-month mentorship is we talk about a new theme. This is more of a life coaching component. So we focus on a new theme each month. So for the month of November, we're talking about confidence and building confidence. And this is all around mindset. It's all around thought processes, because the reality is that Steve and I can give people all the great health information that they need to get healthy, But if their thought processes and their mindset is working against them, they're not going to get very far. So that's why we knew it was important to bring that sort of the life coaching mindset work into our 12-month mentorship. If you're interested in our 12-month mentorship, let me know. It's a fantastic program. We've got people in there achieving amazing things with their health and well-being. So I'm going to leave it there today. The key thing I want you to think about is, are you getting the results that you want? If not, what are you going to do about it? The first thing you need to do is go back to your thought processes and think about that sequence of events that will happen from that thought process. Write it down if you have to. So think about something that you're thinking about yourself or your circumstances or your life. Write it down and then start tracking what's happening in that sequence. Okay, what feeling am I getting from that thought? And then what action am I taking from that feeling? And then what results are coming from that action, okay? So I hope that was useful for you. If you've got any questions, fire them through. Happy to chat about anything mindset related. Yeah, we'll see you all same place, same time next week. Go and have a great day and a great week. Bye, everyone.